Hello everyone and welcome to Barca News. It's October 17, 2022 and Barcelona have been exposed against Real Madrid. Also, two Barcelona players have won awards at tonight's Ballon d'Or ceremony in Paris, and Frenkie has spoken up about this summer transfer market. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. My name is Mo, and before we begin with the news, I would like to invite you to please subscribe to the channel because it would go a long way in helping the small and humble channel continue to grow. Also, if you like the content of this video, please consider liking it. It would help the channel tremendously because it would prompt YouTube to promote this video to other people, and it would further be helping this channel continue to grow. Now we'll begin with the news that Real Madrid defeated Barcelona 3-1 at the Santiago Bernabeu, and as a result Barcelona have lost the top spot in the Spanish league, and Real Madrid are now leaders of La Liga. Now this was yet another poor performance by the team following several poor performances against Real Mallorca, Celta Vigo, and both matches against Inter Milan in the Champions League. And if the team does not change course, we could go a second season trophyless. Now Barcelona are still having several problems, one of them being that there seems to be a lack of mechanisms and strategy in place as far as the attack, where the team are not triangulating. I don't see players setting up screens or playing 1-2s. I don't see players running to get open or seeing players making fake runs to draw defenders with them and create more space for their teammates. All I see is a static team with players passing the ball from one side to the other, back and forth, hoping for some space to be created. There also seems to be a problem with the interiors not linking up with the attacking line, and the wingers are also not doing a good job in making the field wider and drawing the opposing defense out of the box. All they do is make runs on the flanks and send cross after a cross into the box, hoping for a miracle. Now even when it comes to corner kicks and free kicks, there doesn't seem to be any set pieces that the team have trained before. All we see is the same exact thing as that when they're attacking with the ball at their feet, which is sending cross after cross into the box, hoping that Robert Lewandowski would head them in. Now I'm not sure if this is a problem with Xavi, who's not being able to communicate his ideas to the players, because there seems to be a disconnect between what Xavi says in press conferences and what the team does on the field, and where Xavi does a wonderful job explaining his vision, his strategy, and his tactics in the press conferences. However, we don't see those strategies being implemented on the field, so I'm not sure if this is Xavi's fault, who's not being able to communicate his ideas to the players, or whether these are the players who are not being able to execute Xavi's vision on the field, or whether it's a problem of both. Now I personally believe that this is a problem of the players not being able to execute Xavi's plan and Xavi's vision, because we have seen the team follow Xavi's strategies before, but they have only done so against weaker opponents before the international break, and it seems that when the team faces bigger opposition such as Real Madrid or Inter Milan, then all of those ideas go out the window. Now if that's the case, then this is a positive, because that means that there is room for the team to improve, because they are already implementing Xavi's vision. However, they're not being able to do so against bigger opponents, so the team can continue to practice and improve, and eventually they are going to be able to implement Xavi's ideas against bigger and stronger opponents. Now I would love to hear from you, so please leave a comment down below giving me your thoughts and opinions about what you think is going on with the team, or why isn't it working against bigger opposition. Now one of the players that was signaled out for yesterday's defeat was Sergio Busquets, who once again had a very poor performance in yesterday's match, where he was very slow and was constantly beaten by Real Madrid's Toni Kroos, and as a result Madrid were able to implement the tempo and were able to control the midfield, and Sergio Busquets lost many balls in critical areas. One of those losses resulted in Real Madrid's goal. Now it's reported that Xavi has lost his faith in Sergio Busquets, and it's reported that the coach will be benching Sergio Busquets alongside Gerard Piqué and Jordi Alba, so it's gonna be interesting to see what Xavi does in future matches, whether he's gonna use Frenkie in the place of Sergio Busquets, or whether we can see even Frenkie play in that center midfield position. Now once again in yesterday's match there was a controversial call when Carvajal brought down Robert Lewandowski inside the box by taking his legs out from under him with using his hips, and once again the referee did not award Barcelona a penalty call, and not only did he miss the call, but the referee even refused to go to the VAR to check the call. However, when Eric Garcia brought down Rodrigo and inside the penalty box. The referee was quick to go and review that play in the VAR, and as a result, he awarded Real Madrid with a penalty kick in the final moments of the match. Now, as I've said many times before, I don't usually like to talk about referees because I don't believe that there's some kind of conspiracy out there and that matches are rigged. If I believed that, I wouldn't bother watching football. And I also don't like to talk about referees because I believe if a team does their job, dominate a match, create chances, and score goals, the referees' bad calls are less important. However, it's starting to seem a bit of a pattern here, and it's starting to happen way too often where Barcelona are having penalty calls missed and not being awarded to them. And this is kind of rubbing me the wrong way because I do understand that bad referee calls are part of the sport, but they should be less common in the age of VAR, and they should definitely not be happening every match in both La Liga and the Champions League. So La Liga and UEFA should be taking a hard look at the regulation and how the referees are being trained and how those referees are implementing those regulations on the field. Now, it's reported that Joan Laporta stormed the referee's dressing room after the end of the match to demand explanations for the several bad calls that the referee had, and the Barcelona president was asked to leave without an incident, but it's now being reported that La Liga will be fining Joan Laporta for what happened after El Clasico concluded. Now, I'm not saying that the missed penalty call is why Barcelona lost. Not at all. Barcelona lost because they had a poor performance and they were outplayed by Real Madrid, who were able to impose their style of play and they were able to defeat Barcelona without exerting much effort. So Xavi Hernandez is going to have to revert the situation, because if Barcelona go another season without any trophies, it's going to become more difficult for Joan Laporta to try to convince the board of directors to keep Xavi Hernandez as a coach, because after all, not all of the members of the board of directors were in favor of hiring Xavi Hernandez. He did receive a majority vote, however, he didn't receive a unanimous one. Now, having said all of this, I still support Xavi and I still support our team. I believe that Xavi is the adequate coach to lead Barcelona. If there's anyone who can implement the Barcelona DNA on the team, it's Xavi, someone who came out of the Barcelona Academy, someone who spent most of his professional career at Barcelona, and he played under some of the best coaches in the history of Barcelona, such as Pep Guardiola and Luis Enrique, and he has won everything there is to win with Barcelona, and he did it so by becoming one of the best midfielders in the entire history of football. So if there's anyone that can lead Barcelona, is Xavi Hernandez. So I still support him. I still support the team. I believe that big teams, the great teams, take time to mature and take time to put together. So for the fans who keep saying that Xavi should be fired, you should have a little bit more patience. After all, Xavi is a new coach and he does have a new squad. There are several young players who are only 18 and 19 who are still development. There are 7 new players that have joined the squad, and most of them have not played ever under the Barcelona style. So there needs to be more patience because teams are not built overnight. You know, a big example is Pep Guardiola's Manchester City. It took him 2 entire seasons until things finally began to work. The first 2 seasons, he ended up 3rd and 4th in the Premier League. And had Pep Guardiola been fired after the first season, we wouldn't be talking about the absolute monster that Manchester City are currently are. Now, just because I support Xavi and our team doesn't mean that I can't criticize them. Of course I can. And I can say that whatever Xavi is doing right now is not working, and that he needs to take a look at his ideas and what is going on in trainings, and he needs to revert the course so he can continue leading Barcelona and we can get back to being a team not only capable of competing in La Liga but also able to compete in the Champions League. Now, amongst all of this bad news, there is some great news, and that is that Gabi has won the 2022 Copa trophy as the best player under 21 in the entire world. Now, Gabi came ahead Real Madrid's Eduardo Camavinga and Bayern Munich Musa Musiala, and Pedri won this trophy last year in 2021. So that's a big testament that our midfield is in good hands, and it's gonna be even in better hands once we find a replacement for Sergio Busquets. Now, the second great news is that the Barcelona feminine captain Alexis Putellas has won her 2nd Ballon d'Or in a row as the best female player in the footballing world. Now, Alexis Putellas won this award after leading the Barcelona feminine to a perfect league title after winning 30 matches out of 30, and after being the top scorer in the Women's Champions League, where she led the Barcelona feminine to the Champions League final, but unfortunately they lost to Lyon. Now, Alexis Putellas is currently suffering from a knee injury that's gonna keep her from play for the entire 2022-2023 season, but hopefully Alexis Putellas will be able to come back stronger and better than before. So congratulations to both Gabi and Alexis Putellas. Now on to the news that Frenkie de Jong has given an interview in the Netherlands, and he has spoken out about this past summer transfer market. Now, as you might recall, Barcelona attempted to offload Frenkie de Jong, given that he hasn't lived up to the expectations that we had of him when he signed from Ajax, and given that he is the highest paid player on the Barcelona squad, and he has a big salary that the club currently cannot afford. Now, many clubs were interested in signing Frenkie de Jong, one of them being Manchester United, who offered Barcelona 85 million euros for the Dutch midfielder. Now, Frenkie de Jong confessed during the interview that he was under immense pressure by Joan Laporta and his board of directors to leave during the summer transfer market. However, he did not cave, and he decided to stay in Barcelona because that's the club that he wants to be at. Now, Frenkie de Jong was asked about how he feels about having the highest salary on the Barcelona squad now that Lionel Messi has left, and Frenkie de Jong said, "I don't think I am. There has been a campaign. Look, I never spoke a word myself, but the club is spreading, or the media that's part of the club has been spreading lies, and a lot is fake. In each of the first 3 years I played here, I cut my salary. So eventually money has to come back and it will drop on your normal salary, so of course it will look bigger. I think many people don't understand this. The numbers the media are spreading are fake." Now, Frenkie de Jong seems to suggest that he is not the highest paid player in Barcelona, and that he also took several salary cuts. Where I'm here to tell you that Frenkie de Jong did not take a salary cut. He took a salary deferment, which is completely different. In a salary cut, you agree to cut your salary and only earn a percentage of it. Whether in a salary deferment, you're still agreeing to earn your entire salary. However, you agree that that salary should be paid out over a period of time. Also, not only is Frenkie de Jong the highest paid player on the Barcelona squad, but he's also the highest paid player in the entire Spanish league. And that's one of the reasons why Joan Laporta was looking to offload him during this summer transfer market, because as you might recall, the Barcelona president has implemented a strict pay scale where no player could earn more than 10 million euros. And not only is Frenkie de Jong earning more than 10 million euros a year, he also has an ascending salary in his contract, which means his salary is going to continue to go up every season until his contract expiration in 2026. Now on to the news that PSG will have to go to court for the signing of Lionel Messi. Now, even though PSG signed Lionel Messi as a free agent, they spent a lot of money on signing the Argentinian, on his salary and on signing bonuses. And even though they have made all that money back, given the enormous marketing power that Lionel Messi has, PSG have now been summoned to court to explain their finances, especially since they have two very high earners such as Neymar and Mbappe on their squad. Now, this is very ironic because PSG's president Al Khalifi was just talking about Barcelona a few weeks ago and about the activation of their economic levers, when all Barcelona has done is sell some of its patrimony in order to generate some funds. Meanwhile, we don't know where the money that PSG keeps getting is coming from. Every time the French club wants to make a big signing, some mysterious sponsor comes out of nowhere to pay for that money, and it looks like that is finally catching up with the French club, and they've now been summoned to court to explain their finances. Now, speaking of PSG, it's reported that the club have taken note of Lautaro Martinez's performance against Barcelona in the Champions League, and as a result, the Parisian club are now considering signing the Argentinian striker in case Kylian Mbappe decides to leave, which he has been looking for an exit, reportedly because he's currently not happy with his situation at the Parisian club. So that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give me a like. Also, I'd like to invite all of you to please leave a comment down below, giving me all your thoughts and opinions about all the news that I share with you. And finally, I would like to invite all of you to please subscribe to the channel so you can stay current on all the latest news in regards to our beloved club, FC Barcelona. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. And as always, Peace, Barça.